Hello everyone, and welcome back. Once feared across oceans, deserts, and chaotic city streets, 20 infamous outlaws like Dick Turpin, Mary Red, Pancho Villa, and Ching Shih left an indelible mark on history. Some were relentlessly hunted. Others became legends of folklore. Through official historical sources, professional restoration software, and advanced AI technology, their faces now return, complete, vivid, and hauntingly lifelike, as if they never truly left this world. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 1. Dick Turpin, 1705–1739, was an infamous English highwayman of the 18th century, famed for his daring robberies and legendary horseback ride from London to York. Once a butcher by trade, he descended into crime and joined the notorious Essex gang, becoming a symbol of rebellious adventure. Though he was hanged for horse theft, his myth lived on, romanticized in ballads and folklore, as a bold outlaw who galloped through history, leaving behind a trail of danger, drama, and dark allure. Number 2. Ned Kelly, 1854–1880. Australia's most infamous outlaw, was the son of an Irish convict and grew up in colonial poverty. In 1878, with his brother and friends, he formed the Kelly Gang, shocking the nation with bank robberies and deadly shootouts. In 1880, during the fateful siege of Glenrowan, Kelly wore homemade iron armor, but was shot and captured. He was hanged in Melbourne soon after. His legend endures, a fearless rebel to some, a ruthless criminal to others, and forever etched in Australia's folklore. Number 3. Joaquín Murrieta, 1829–1853. Often called the Robin Hood of the West, he became a symbol of resistance for many during the California Gold Rush. After his family faced tragedy and their land was unjustly taken, Murrieta turned sorrow into purpose. With courage and remarkable skill, he led a group of riders who stood up against injustice. Though his life ended in 1853, his story became legend. Many believe he inspired the creation of Zorro, the masked hero who defends the innocent and fights from the shadows. Number 4. Pancho Villa, 1878–1923. Born Doro Arango, rose from outlaw to legendary general of the Mexican Revolution. Leading the powerful Division del Norte, he fought against dictatorship and reclaimed land for the poor. In 1916, Villa shocked the world by attacking Columbus, New Mexico, the first invasion of U.S. soil since 1812. With his thick mustache, sombrero, and crossed bandoliers, he became a revolutionary icon. Assassinated in 1923. Villa endures in memory as the Mexican Robin Hood revered by many among the country's working class. Number 5. Wilbur Underhill, Jr. 1901–1934. Known as the Tri-State Terror, was one of the most feared bank robbers of the Great Depression, operating in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. He escaped prison, led brutal heists, and earned a top spot on the FBI's most wanted list. In December 1933, he was shot 17 times in Joplin, but miraculously escaped. 3 weeks later, cornered while recovering, he killed a policeman and turned the gun on himself, dying as violently as he lived. A symbol of defiance and blood-soaked crime in America's darkest era. Number 6. Raymond Hamilton, 1913–1935, nicknamed the Texas Prison Breaker, was a reckless gunman in the Bonnie and Clyde gang. Joining in 1932, he took part in bloody bank robberies across Texas and Oklahoma. In 1934, he helped lead the brutal East Prison Break, an act that turned Clyde Barrow against him, later captured and sentenced to death for killing a policeman. Hamilton was executed in the electric chair on May 10, 1935. He died at 22, a defiant outlaw lost to a violent era. Number 7. Alvin Karpas, 1907–1979, nicknamed Creepy, was the most notorious public enemy number 1 of the Great Depression, leading the Barker Karpas gang in a wave of kidnappings and bank robberies across the Midwest. In 1936, he became the first public enemy personally arrested by FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, sentenced to life. Karpas served 26 years at Alcatraz, longer than any other inmate. Released in 1969, he died alone in Spain in 1979, closing one of the longest and most ironic careers in America's outlaw history. Number 8. Pretty Boy Floyd, 1904–1934, whose real name was Charles Arthur Floyd, was America's public enemy number one during the Great Depression. Known for his handsome looks and for tearing up debts to help poor farmers, he was seen by many in Oklahoma as a Robin Hood figure. Floyd robbed over 30 banks across the Midwest. After the Kansas City Massacre in 1933, the FBI launched an intense manhunt. In October 1934, he was shot dead in Ohio, becoming a symbol of both crime and heroism in American memory. Number 9. Salvatore Giuliano, 1922–1950, known as the Robin Hood of Sicily, led an armed rebellion against the Italian state. After World War II, he carried out raids, stealing food and money from landowners to aid the poor. In 1947, his group was behind the Portella della Nestra massacre, which left 11 civilians dead. In 1950, Giuliano was shot and killed under suspicious circumstances, possibly betrayed. His mysterious death left behind a legacy debated to this day. Was he a freedom fighter or a criminal masked by legend? Number 10. Stabone, 1688–1718, known as the Gentleman Pirate, was a wealthy landowner from Barbados who abruptly left his family, bought a ship, and turned to piracy despite having no maritime experience. He formed an alliance with the infamous Blackbeard raiding along the Atlantic coast. In 1718, Bonnet was captured in North Carolina and hanged in Charleston. His curious story of privilege abandoned and danger embraced has made him a romantic symbol of adventure, rebellion, and the fine line between daring and delusion. Number 11. Rube Burrough, 1855–1890, was one of the most notorious train robbers in the American South during the late 19th century. A poor farmer from Alabama, he and his brother carried out daring heists on railroad lines, striking fear into transport companies. Burrough once made a bold escape from jail, but was eventually tracked down and shot during a Posey raid in 1890. His wide-brimmed hat and outlaw image became part of Southern folklore, symbolizing the rugged, lawless spirit of America's post-war frontier. Number 12. Edward Teach, 1680–1718. Better known as Blackbeard, he was the most infamous pirate of the Golden Age, commanding fear aboard the Queen Anne's Revenge. Sailing the Caribbean and American coasts, he became a legend of the seas. His towering figure with a black beard braided with slow-burning fuses gave him a fearsome presence. Many said he looked like a phantom from nightmares. In 1718, British forces launched a surprise attack at Ocracoke. After a fierce battle, Blackbeard was finally defeated. According to legend, his headless body circled the ship 3 times before sinking. His daring exploits and mysterious end remain one of the most enduring stories in pirate history. Number 13. Bartholomew Roberts, 1682–1722. Nicknamed Black Bart, was one of the most successful pirates of all time. In less than 4 years, he captured over 400 ships, spreading terror across the Atlantic. Unlike the rough image of typical pirates, Roberts wore a red cloak, carried a gleaming gold sword, behaved like a gentleman, enforced strict discipline, and banned gambling on board. In 1722, during a battle with the British Navy off the coast of Africa, he charged into the fight holding a Bible, dressed in full regalia, and was fatally shot. That image of the gentleman pirate lives on in legend. Number 14. Mary Red, circa 1685–1721, one of the boldest and most famous female pirates in history. Disguised as a man since childhood to survive, she served in the Navy and later became a mercenary. In 1718, Mary joined the Calico Jack crew, and together with Anne Bonny, became a legendary duo who struck fear across the Caribbean. In 1720, when their ship was attacked, Mary fought fiercely to the end. After capture, she claimed to be pregnant to postpone execution. She died of illness in prison in 1721, leaving behind a fearless legend that defied all gender boundaries. Number 15. Henry Morgan, 1635–1688. A pirate knighted by the crown, was the most paradoxical figure in maritime history. A legendary Welsh privateer, he once struck terror into Spanish cities across the Caribbean. The 1671 raid on Panama, led by 1,400 mercenaries, catapulted him to fame. Though arrested for violating a peace treaty, Morgan was not only pardoned, but also named by the English king and appointed lieutenant governor of Jamaica. In his final years, he served as a judge against piracy. Dying of cirrhosis, he left behind a conflicted legacy, a pirate draped in royal power. Number 16. Edward Lowe, 1690–1724. One of the most ruthless pirates of the golden age of piracy. Born into poverty in London, he became a nightmare across the Caribbean and Atlantic seas. Lowe was notorious for brutal acts, cutting off ears, slicing fingers, even burning prisoners alive to instill fear. In just 2 years, he captured dozens of ships, sparing not even fishing boats. After being thrown overboard by a rebellious crew, he drifted to Martinique, where the French captured and executed him. His corpse was displayed in an iron cage. Edward Lowe became a symbol of oceanic evil, a blood-soaked legend etched into pirate memory. Number 17, Calico Jack, 1682–1720, real name John Rackham, was a notorious pirate in the Caribbean. Best known for his iconic skull and crossbones flag, he gained fame not only for bold raids, but also for sailing with 2 legendary female pirates, Anne Bonny and Mary Read. In 1720, his ship was attacked by bounty hunters while the crew was drunk, captured, and hanged in Jamaica. Calico Jack became a lasting symbol of the wild pirate era. Number 18. Eddie Bentz, 1894–1979. The most discreet bank robbery mastermind of the Great Depression, became infamous across the United States. He carried out over 100 heists from Chicago and St. Paul to Portland, using meticulous planning, avoiding violence, and leaving no trace. In 1934, Bentz was captured after a major robbery and served 15 years in prison. After his release, he lived in seclusion until his death in 1979, becoming one of the rare criminals who died peacefully in bed, ending the paradox of a master thief. Number 19. Ching Shih, 1775–1844. The most powerful female pirate in history was once a courtesan before becoming the leader of the Red Flag Fleet. After her husband's death, she took command of over 300 ships and 40,000 followers dominating the South China Sea. She ambushed merchant vessels, raided ports, and demanded tribute from fishing villages to wealthy traders, leaving Imperial and Western navies helpless. In the end, she accepted amnesty and lived in wealth, an extraordinary conclusion to a legendary life at sea. Number 20. Bronco Bill Walters, 1869–1921, a notorious train and bank robber at the twilight of the Wild West. Once a cowboy and stagecoach driver, he joined a gang targeting the Southern Pacific Railroad. Known for his calm style, always wearing white gloves and never firing unless necessary, his boldest heist involved stopping a train using a red cloth as a fake signal. Captured in 1898, he was sentenced to 50 years, but pardoned after 18 for good behavior. Though reformed, Bronco Bill remains a legendary outlaw of the cowboy era. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to share it with your friends and hit subscribe so you won't miss our next exciting content.